Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibs7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today. In this video, we're going to be talking about this week's patch notes. Apologies for this video not coming out yesterday. I was a little bit busy yesterday, and on top of the fact that this update wasn't super important because there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to discuss, I was just not quite able to get the video out on time, but we are here for it today, and yeah, we're just going to go over it. I'm also going to go ahead and take this survey here that has been released as well for this video, just to add a little something additional to it. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I might be doing a couple of elite clue steps during this, but I'll probably be going really slow with that as I'm trying to read stuff over. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the update. And the main headline for this week was the fact that the iOS closed beta has now opened for the RuneScape mobile app on iOS, of course. And yeah, that is really nice to see. Unfortunately, it was only 1,000 spots available at first, and a lot of people are quite unhappy with this, especially because of the fact that it can just be joined by anybody and anyone. Just like doesn't matter if you're a member or anything like that. You can get into the beta for the app at the very least and download it, but I'm pretty sure you can only log in if you're a member. But I don't really see how exactly they would have done it so that members only could have gotten into the beta, because I mean, it's through Apple's store. Based on what they've said a lot during this whole time when they've had the Android app available and nothing for the iOS, it sounded like it was a whole lot of restrictions in place for the Apple store that were really causing trouble that they had to get around. And I'm sure that there's not a whole lot of flexibility on how these betas are run, at least especially from like the side of who can get into them in terms of logging in. But I don't know exactly, so I could be wrong on that. That's just, I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt on that a little bit because of the fact that it is Apple after all. So there were only 1,000 spots available, and obviously pretty much right when the beta opened up, those spots were all taken almost immediately, which makes sense. I mean, people have been waiting for the iOS beta for a long time, and now that it's finally here, there's going to be definitely people jumping on that train as fast as they can. So yeah, that is a big issue a lot of people had with it, but I'm hoping that they quickly increase the number of spots as the beta moves. I hope it moves like a fast-moving beta, just in general, because I really hope that the super hard focus on mobile is coming to an end here fairly soon, because they've been working on it for it's almost been 3 years now, and that's only what we've known about them working on it for. So who knows how long they've actually been sinking resources into this. So I really hope it's almost done at this point, and once the iOS is over, it just gets it gets fully released, and then they can move on to bigger and better things like improving the game engine and stuff like that. But yeah, if you missed out on the beta, that unlucky, but keep an eye out, and I'm sure there'll be more spots opening up before too long. So yeah, that was pretty much it for the main section. Also, the double XP event is obviously going on if you are on a main account, and you've probably been training up already. 48 hours of double XP over 10 days. I think this system, or this way of they're doing it now, is definitely much better. Just a way better, healthier, promotes better habits and stuff. So I think it's better for sure. Unfortunate for me that I'm pretty sure the first double XP that I didn't train on, because I was done maxing and getting all the 120s the 120s for comp at least, ended up being the first double XP weekend that they changed up the format, and I would have liked to, had the nicer format with the long term, instead of having to grind for basically 2 or 3 days straight, or however much it was. But yeah, still I think I'm glad to see that they've stuck with this change, and if they increased it to a larger amount of hours, which people wanted, because they were all like, yeah, I play 48 hours in a weekend for double XP. You guys are crazy, which I don't know if that's exactly true in terms of the average, but still. That's pretty much it, though, for those main things. The patch notes were quite sparse this week. There was a bunch of things in there for mobile, which I rarely read because they're not usually relevant. And then there was a bunch of other random fixes, but I think that was all for mobile as well. And then there was the other section here, which had a couple of things in there that were kind of useful, or kind of not really useful, but interesting at the very least. One great thing for archaeology is that the tetra compasses will now try to store the materials into your material storage. That's nice to see. It was kind of annoying that they put it into your bank rather than your material storage. Now the only thing that they need to fix with that, I think, that I can think of is got to be the fortune perk needs to start putting stuff in your material storage as well. So yeah, hopefully they do that. They also have added an ancient casket to the Archaeology Guild office. And apparently if you have stuff in your Tetra Composite that you cannot store, it will temporarily store the items in there for you so you can clean out your bank and come get them later. So they kind of have now... Excuse me. Sorry about that. A little bit tired at this time, but yeah, they're kind of recognizing that archaeology brought in a whole ton of items to the game, and a lot of people are struggling for bank space at this point, so they've kind of added that in as a, whatever you want to call it, a secondary measure to help stop them from running out completely and not being able to loot stuff. I wish they'd let us have a little bit more bank space because of how many items really were added with the skill, but that's probably not going to happen. They often cite various technical limitations when discussing bank space, so I doubt they're going to make any changes to that anytime soon. But yeah, other than that, let me see. They removed the chisel from the Daemonheim rooms where you have to make weapons for statues because they're obviously no longer important since you have the chisels on your tool belt. I thought that was kind of a random thing to see there. Nothing from the ninjas this week, so obviously not a whole lot of important patch notes as far as I can tell. They've actually added a new spell, though, into the game, a new teleport spell, which I was kind of surprised to see, a teleport spell to Taverley. So now we have 2 T's in the book here. Very, very bad, in my opinion. No, I don't really care all that much, but I do think it should, they should all have different letters just to make it less confusing. But the Taverley spell requires the same exact runes as the Varrock spell, which is kind of lame. I feel like they should have made it just one air, 1 fire, and 1 law to kind of make it a little bit more consistent with how there's Falador, which is 3 air, 1 water, 1 law. That corresponds to the South Feldip Hills teleport, which is 1 of each of those. Then you have Lumbridge, which is 3 air, 1 earth, 1 law, which corresponds to the house teleport. So it would have been, it would have kind of made sense to have the Taverley one correspond to the Varrock one and be 1 air, 1 fire, 1 law, but not a big deal, obviously. And this takes you to where the Slayer cape used to take you. Because they moved Turiel, obviously. They moved them way up there near the Berthorpe Lodestone. So that was kind of an annoyance to people who do clues a lot, because you could use that teleport to go to the clue that's by the wheat field, the one that, you go into Taverley Dungeon for scans. I don't know if there's any others that are nearby this area, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't a huge inconvenience because the Lodestone is obviously right there across the river, but still... something I was never expecting. I didn't really see anyone asking for it, but interesting nonetheless. Unexpected thing that they added in. Other than that, I don't think there was honestly anything else. They updated the bank area on the ranch out of time to be in the right place. Shocking, they added a bank and there wasn't a proper bank area. Seems like that's every time they add a bank. And then a bunch of small little bug fixes, which didn't really have much relevance. So, yeah, no Ninja stuff this week, and just generally a pretty small week. I'm sure they were focusing quite a lot on the mobile stuff, so I guess it makes sense. I'm really hoping we see an update soon about what they're working on next. I mean, I know we all have the rumblings of Elder God Wars coming later this summer, but I haven't heard a thing about it from them since RuneFest, and I'm getting a little bit worried. I mean, obviously we've seen not a whole lot in terms of communications since Archaeology, and while obviously it was a big, massive update with the new skill. It has been, over a month now, and it'd be nice to at least hear what's coming next. In between, because I don't think the Elder God Wars were supposed to be until, late summer at the earliest. So there would hopefully be, some smaller things coming between now and then. But yeah, again, I haven't really heard much. I'm hoping that we do fairly soon. I thought we were supposed to get the Miscellanea rework in the summer at some point. I'm really hoping we still get to see that. That would be nice. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for the updates. So I'm going to go ahead now and jump into this survey. Let me see if I can actually work this. So it should be up now. I switched the scene. Totally a pro streamer or whatever. I don't really use OBS for switching stuff that much, but yeah, this is the third part of their engagement survey. I've done all the other parts as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they follow up on some of those questions. Let's go ahead and start here. I am that age range. I would say I'm a male. What kind of player? I play mostly RuneScape, some old school. Thinking about how much time you spend playing RuneScape compared to 2 months ago, I'd say I spend more time playing now because of the pandemic. I think that's a fair point to say. One sec. Okay, let's continue. How many hours? Over 40 hours a week. I'm a total degenerate. How many accounts do I have? I think I'm going to say 4. At least 4 if you're counting old school and RS3 as one account. I'd say 4. If there are multiple accounts, then I have 5 plus. When did I first start playing? Somewhere around there. I don't really remember, to be honest. Somewhere either there or maybe 2005 to 2007 range. When did I first hear about archaeology? It was before the RuneFest keynote. This question already was asked. Where do I primarily get my news regarding upcoming RuneScape stuff? Often on official Jagex channels, sometimes on their stream. I do watch their stream occasionally now. YouTube when they upload videos, sometimes on their Twitter, and then Reddit, I would say, are the main places. And sometimes through through people talking about it. But that's about it, I think, yeah. On what social platforms do you engage the most about archaeology since launch? Well, YouTube, I mean, I've uploaded a crap ton of videos. I guess that probably counts. And then Reddit for the most part. You only get to pick one. So YouTube then, I guess, would be that. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you agree about the following statements? I was definitely well informed. Yeah, it actually exceeded my expectations, if I'm being honest with you. I thought it was better than I even thought it would be. And yeah, they definitely gave a great amount of information to understand the basics for sure. Which of the following were you aware of before this survey? Obviously, I'm aware it goes up to 120 as I have that. Yes, of course. I knew about all of that stuff, of course. How many dig sites were you aware of? I did know that there were 5 dig sites and that there still are 5. Which features do you like the most of archaeology? The dig sites are amazing, the areas, of course. Honestly, the new lore was interesting. I actually read it, which is rare for me. The relics are really cool. The ancient summoning, I'm going to leave that one off. I don't think the ancient summoning is all that interesting. The ancient invention is also not all that interesting. I mean, obviously the ancient gizmos with all the new perks are really cool, but the fact that the blueprints only have 3 things that can be unlocked and there's not a whole lot of new devices is kind of a disappointment. So I'll leave that one off as well. I don't really know why you'd put the elite skilling outfit on there. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I'm not going to put that. I like a lot. The achievements are really cool. The new cape is gorgeous, and the new pet is nice too. I love the fact that they added a collection log, and the additional QOL was nice as well. So I think, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Have you watched any of the archaeology live streams? Yes, I have watched a couple of those on the Twitch channel. The live streams are entertaining. I'd say they can be entertaining, but they can be horrifically cringe, so it's up in the air there. The pre-release live streams helped me better prepare. I didn't really prepare at all, but I'm sure if I did want to, that would have been helpful. The post-release live stream helped me stay informed. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, they gave me information I was looking for. The content on the live stream, it definitely varies in terms of its usefulness. They tend to talk about stuff extensively, though, at the very least. I definitely don't think the Lootscape has anything to do with me watching the stream because I don't even have my accounts linked. So, yeah. Do you have any suggestions or feedback? I'd like to see more data streams because those are really interesting to me. Have you provided feedback? I would say I definitely have, given my like 20 plus YouTube videos. Which of the following platforms have you used to provide feedback? Mainly YouTube. I haven't actually posted anywhere else really. So yeah, I would say mostly that. Well, also in-game, I've talked about it. Is there anything else you would have liked us to do as part of the campaign for archaeology? Probably not, to be honest. Let me just check. Okay, I got lobbied out. Nothing that I can personally think of that would have been way better. So I'm just going to leave that. Of course, I would like 6 months free membership. Are you kidding me? Sure, if you have follow-up questions, and of course future surveys I would love to see. And my RSN, put in my hardcore name, and that should be the end. Yes, so that's the end of the survey. Pretty brief one and very similar to the previous ones they had for archaeology. So yeah, that is, just figured I'd show those. I kind of like to do the surveys as I get them, and for those of you who are interested in them, I think it's a cool little thing to see. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video, you guys. I hope you all did enjoy it. Once again, apologies for it being about a day late, but yeah, it just was a little bit busy and it wasn't a whole lot of stuff missed in this week's update. But I should have my video on all of the archaeology relics out this week, as well as the video on the researchers. And I should be wrapping up most of my archaeology videos at the end of this week for the most part. And we'll be back with another hardcore episode on Sunday as usual. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.